Hello and welcome to BSGcast. He's Matt, I'm Nat, and let's get this started because we have a lot to talk about today, don't we?
Yes, we do. Episode 316, Maelstrom. Now, normally we talk about things that you probably don't want to see before you watch an episode, but this week is especially spoilerific.
Yeah, do not watch this show if you haven't seen the episode yet.
I swear.
Seriously, don't do it.
Because in 2 seconds I'm going to tell you why. You should be gone by now. Starbuck is dead. Now, that's what we're led to believe. Now, we're going to go through all the different reasons why Starbuck is probably not dead.
Well, we'd like to think she's not dead.
Yeah, but you don't kill one of the Holy Trinity. Like,
Holy Trinity.
Battlestar Galactica is about 3 characters. One is named Adama, one is named Apollo, and one is named Starbuck. You can kill the president. You can kill Baltar. Well, no, Baltar's pretty critical, but he does die in the
Baltar.
Baltar dies in the original series, but besides the point.
Anyway, you can kill anyone.
You can't kill Starbuck.
But you can't
You just
kill
can't.
Starbuck.
It's ballsy to have done this. The network went for it, but I really feel like this is not the last of Starbuck.
No, it doesn't
Starbuck
really
will be back.
feel like it's the last
No.
of it. At least not to me.
No. But to begin this, we got to see some of Mom, which was not so delightful. Starbuck's mom is
She's a
not
horrible person.
is not a nice lady,
No.
as moms go. I mean, she
Well.
was, what, a sergeant or a sergeant major in the colonial
Right,
forces.
and she was in the jungles during the Cylon War.
Yes. And now, we don't really see Starbuck's dad, which is interesting. So
We'd like to think that maybe they're setting up some sort of savior type of scenario.
Yes. Immediately, we're sort of starting to see this possibly immaculate conception image. So
We'll talk more about this later on.
yes, there's
but,
a lot to be said about this.
Yeah.
But her mother is interesting because she seemed to have been preparing her for something.
And unless she's loopy, she might actually know something, and she might have actually been preparing Starbuck for something.
Yeah, we try
right?
to discount crazy and dumb out of Battlestar Galactica because
Yeah.
the show has so far neither been
Or like
crazy
delusional
nor dumb.
or prophetic or anything like that. Like,
So she's preparing her daughter for something. I like to think it's more than just flying her ship into a swirly gas giant. Because honestly, that's not very cool at all.
no.
So that's a good reason that, yes, she's got to be back. Now, beyond that, we got an interesting bit of LEOBEN.
Oh, LEOBEN.
Yes, LEOBEN. Now, LEOBEN is pretty much always fascinating whenever he's on screen. From the first episode of the
he
miniseries.
definitely gave me the creeps. Again, he's one of those Cylons that
He's
just
a
give me the
creepy-
creeps.
Well, the Cylons are creepy.
Well, not
But
all
the
of
interesting
them.
thing about this particular LEOBEN was that he never said he was LEOBEN. And,
Now, I don't remember who said he was LEOBEN.
well, in the dream sequence, we have the automatic assumption that, of course, it's just LEOBEN somehow fracking with Starbuck's
You
mind.
mean in this episode?
In this episode, specifically...
You mean this episode specifically, he's not actually LEOBEN?
That's
In the
what
past,
I'm saying.
the past
I'm
LEOBENs
saying
we've met are LEOBEN?
I'm saying Callum Keith, Rennie, was not LEOBEN in this episode.
Okay.
Because Starbuck knew that it was not LEOBEN the moment her mother died. And
So, what's that to say? That it was someone else that was pretending to be LEOBEN in her dreams?
maybe it's an angel of death. I'm going to go ahead and say it's something bigger than that. Maybe it's her father. Maybe it's the Cylon god. Or maybe it's both. I don't know. It's hard to say. I think there's something more to LEOBEN's character, something more to whoever he was in this episode, and there's something more to who Starbuck is fundamentally.
Absolutely. I think it's kind of creepy if that dude in her dream was her father, personally.
Okay,
But
yeah.
maybe she has an electric complex and she doesn't even know about it. I don't know.
Maybe. It's possible. I mean, there's obviously got to be some kind of attraction to know who her father is, since there doesn't seem to be much into how she was brought up that has anything to do with her father.
Right.
I mean, her mother was
And
breaking her fingers.
if you
in
don't
this.
realize this already, which we're getting to slowly later on, we are kind of saying that her father might be a Cylon.
Yes, good chance. If not the Cylon god. Now, Aurora is a Roman goddess, and she's the goddess of the dawn, as they said. Now, I'm inclined to think that there's probably some parallel between the goddess Aurora
And
Starbuck. And the idea of putting the goddess Aurora as the figurehead of Adama's ship is very interesting, because the figurehead of a ship is what guides you, what leads you, what essentially goes before anyone on the ship to wherever your destination is.
In which case, if Starbuck is symbolically Aurora, is she leading them to a destination? Is
Or
she
is
leading
she-
them all
Or is she a few steps ahead of that? Did she go somewhere when she went down into that funnel cloud? Did she transport somewhere? And is she now on Earth? Further along the trip to Earth? Did she resurrect somewhere? Did she even resurrect on Earth? Like, we don't even know what Earth is at this point. Maybe it's a bunch of Final Five Cylon models wandering around.
But anyway, your point is that she's leading the way. That's some path that they're supposed to be following as well.
Okay, I think that she's leading the way much the way Aurora is the goddess of the dawn, is the beginning of what's new.
Who knows?
Now, this brings us to Adama and his absolutely beautiful moment of tears and frustration when he finally just accepted it and tore that model ship apart. And as it turns out, actually, Edward James Olmos was not doing something in the script. He just felt the moment, grabbed that ship and tore it to pieces. And evidently, it was worth over $100,000.
$100,000.
That replica naval model was worth a disgusting amount of money, and he just tore the crap out of it. Apparently, the production managers were just like
probably tearing their hair out.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Seriously, though, there's something about Adama that just gets to me. It gets to me in the sense that, like, I don't ever feel as bad for any character as I do for him, honestly.
The vulnerability that Edward James almost puts out, because he's the old man, he's the father, and when you see him cry,
all the stuff that he's probably been through, and all the all the guilt that he carries, all the responsibility that he carries, and
it's huge.
I feel horrible for him.
And although I thought it was absolutely beautiful bookending for Starbuck as a regular character, at least. What do you hear? Nothing but the rain. It was beautiful because that was the first exchange that those two characters had in the miniseries, Starbuck and Adama saying that.
Right, and this was the last thing that they say to each other before she disappears.
Yeah.
Goes to the other side. No, what is it the lady said? It finds the place between life and death?
Yes. Very interesting.
What does that mean, folks? So, folks, it's time for Fan of the Week. Actually, we're going to start by saying that last week we mentioned the Colonial Defense Forces.
Yes.
And it turns out that this week
we are honorary ensigns.
Thanks, guys.
Very impressive. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
So, as for this week's Fan of the Week, you probably know her. She's
pretty badass.
Very, very busy. Mm-hmm. We all hear from her all the time. Her name is the Galactica Viper Pilot, and we've actually got her
over the wireless.
We've got her live over the wireless. So, are you there?
Hey, Matt and Nat.
Hey.
It's Galactica Viper Pilot here. Thanks so much for making me the Fan of the Week on your BSGcast. I love you guys, and I listen to you all the time on Galactica's Wireless.
All right, this is all very touching, but you were supposed to be in Ready Room 4 20 minutes ago.
It sounds like Starbuck's pretty pissed off. Maybe we should wrap this up.
So move it.
You better go.
Don't look at him. Move it.
I gotta go, guys.
Move it.
All right.
Wow.
Well, that was her. Galactica Viper Pilot. Thanks for coming in over the wireless. Hope she's not in too much trouble. So next week's episode is called The Sun Also Rises. So,
Sun as in S-O-N.
So this is an Apollo episode. Now, hopefully there's going to be some Starbuck mourning going on here.
Apollo owes it to her to stick her picture
At
up
the
next
very least.
to Kit.
Next to Kat, absolutely. So hopefully there's some Starbuck mourning going on. But, I mean, terrorist bombings. This is the hurricane. This is what Zarek warned Rosalind about.
Yeah.
If you give Baltar his trial, you will get a hurricane. And this is it. Baltar's lawyer is interesting. He plays a character on Firefly as well, that actor. So that's kind of fun. He was Badger.
Right.
Good character.
Right. And Lee, I guess, wants to defend. I think that's the impression that we're getting here.
The impression I got from it as well was that Lee was interested in not only taking part in this trial, but defending Baltar. So it's going to be fun to see how that goes.
Okay. Do you think this is going to kick Rosalind's ass? Like, do you think because she wanted him part of this council because he knows the difference between right and wrong.
But as soon as you become a lawyer, the difference of right and wrong is irrelevant. The important thing is winning.
And was she ever expecting him to want to defend Baltar, do you think?
So that'll be cool. I think next week's going to be a solid episode. And, I mean, hopefully there's some more Starbuck in this season. We've got 3 more episodes. There's still room to find out some more about Starbuck and see where her future lies.
She better be alive.
You hear that, Ronald D. Moore? She better be alive. As much as I think she's a psycho, she's a wonderful psycho.
Yeah. We need her. She's
Absolutely.
a solid character.
So we'll see you next week, guys.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Bye, Matt.
Bye, Nat.